Hi YouTube. I thought today what I would do is a quick demonstration on how to draw wrinkles and skin pores. Now this is a graphite drawing. Let me just turn this light down here because it's a little bright. This is a graphite pencil drawing that I'm doing of this man here. I don't know who he is, just found me a black and white photo here. And you'll notice that he's got wrinkles and he's got pores, and so I'm just been drawing his wrinkles and pores and stuff. And let's see here, you probably see it closer there you go. Anyway, I like to show you how I draw wrinkles and pores such as you see here on this drawing, and I thought I'd show the drawing so that you can decide whether it's worth it for you to keep watching this video, because I really haven't been drawing that long. I don't consider myself an expert, and this is my 15th month since I started drawing, and I'm self-taught, so I haven't gone to any schools or anything. And if you've seen my intro, which to this video, for example, the Ricks Can Do an intro to all my videos, you can see the drawings that I've done months ago, and compared to this one I'm doing right now, you can see that there's quite a progression. Those look a little amateurish to me now, but I work hard at this, and now I want to share what I have learned with you, because it took me a while to figure out how to draw these wrinkles and pores. I just couldn't find information anywhere on the web. The books I would buy, they're helpful, but they didn't get into specifics like the wrinkles and the pores as I would have liked, but they did talk about lighting, and that's really the key. Is if you understand lighting, then you're going to be able to pretty much make anything look realistic. You just have to take your time, and that's something we don't have with a video on YouTube. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create kind of a real quick skin, I guess, so that we can get right into the lesson. And I'm just going to use this graphite powder. This is a Cretacolor graphite powder. It's not what I used for the skin of that drawing. I actually used an 8B woodless pencil for that. But for a matter of time, I'm just going to go ahead and use graphite powder. It's perfectly acceptable. And so I'm going to time lapse this part here. Okay, now we're going to call that skin. You really do want to take your time drawing skin. I'm kind of rushing through this because of time restraints, even time lapse. I mean, I need to get done with this to get on with my day's chores, you might say. But I just wanted to lay down some tonal value on this drawing paper, just so that I had something to demonstrate to you the technique that I use personally, at least now, that I use for drawing wrinkles and skin pores. But since I've got this on here, and it is kind of blotchy, because like I said, I didn't take my time. I'm just kind of spreading this all over the place here. This is very blotchy looking skin, so I apologize for that. You can smooth it out some more, get some tissue. Remember though that when you do something with blenders like tissue, you will actually lighten a lot of it. If you'll notice, it looks like it's erasing because it basically is erasing it. So but you can lighten. Just, you see that I lighten that right there. What I wanted to point out here is you're going to see this dark spot right here. This is why you never touch your paper with your fingers, because it leaves these little fingerprints, these oils, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. It's going to be stuck on your paper. You can try to erase some of that off, but it's just going to be in your way. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I just needed to have some kind of tonal value laid down here so that we can get right on to what is, how do you draw, wrinkles and pores. Now let me zoom in just a little bit here, closer, so you can see that. Now, all a wrinkle is, and all a pore is an indentation on the skin. If you can just visualize that, then it's really easy to understand that if you have a crease in your face, not your face personally, but in the face of what you're drawing, if there's a wrinkle, if there's a pore, which all faces have pores, but some are not as detailed as others in the photograph you're drawing from, then part of that's going to catch the light and part of it's going to cast the shadow. And it all depends on where the light's coming from. So let's assume, for the sake of this demonstration, that the light is coming from this direction here. So what that basically means is that when we have a wrinkle, let's say I'm going to put some, this is a forehead, okay? And so we're going to put some wrinkles on this forehead here. We're going to have it to where the light is going to show on the bottom lip of that wrinkle and the shadow is going to be on the top lip. So what I like to do is use one of these stick erasers. This is one way I like to go about it, is use these stick erasers like this Tombow Mono Zero. Let's see if we can, there we go. This is really good to have if you're into drawing graphite drawings realistically. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw some wrinkles. I don't have a reference photo here to work with, so let's just try to get it as realistic as we can, I guess. But I'm going to draw this like so, and then, this person's got some major creases on his forehead here. Okay, and then maybe another one comes across like so, and then maybe he's got one like this, and then another wrinkle here and another wrinkle here. All right, I think I've got enough wrinkles here. Okay, so what I've done is I've used my eraser to draw the part of the wrinkle that actually catches the light. Now, it may look on the camera that it's a wrinkle, and actually it looks pretty darn good as a wrinkle from where I'm sitting at. However, what it really is from close scrutiny, it's just a bunch of white eraser lines. So what we got to do to give the illusion that this is a crease in the person's skin is that now that we got the part that catches the light, that's the bottom lip here is what this represents, we need the part that is shaded from the light, and that's the other side of the wrinkle, the top part of the wrinkle. Now what I'm going to use for that is I got this mechanical pencil here, and it's a 0.3 millimeter. As you can see right there, my Graph Gear 500, it's got a small fine point on here, and it's got 2H lead in this one here. Because what I want to do is I'm just going to bring out this, where's my focus? I just lost my focus. There we go. What I want to do is I just want to bring out the upper lip of those wrinkles to be slightly darker in tone than the surrounding skin. So let's see if I can zoom in a little more and not lose the focus. Okay, it looks like I could get it right there. So now, if you'll notice, I'm going to go right to the very top of the wrinkle here, and I'm going to visualize a little bit of shadow being formed by the indentation, and just shade in. I'm not drawing a line, I'm shading with my thin lead, and I just want to give it the impression that the top part of the wrinkle has a little shading to it. It's because it doesn't have the light. Go to the next one here. Just visualize that you have a crease in the skin, which is causing it to have this little dark shadow. And the white part should be the bottom of the wrinkle, because the light's coming from above. Okay, and I'm doing this in real time, so it's going to make this video a little long. Okay, but you don't want to draw the shade part too drastic. Otherwise it starts to look a little cartoonish. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. Now some people actually like the wrinkles I did on that old Anthony Hopkins drawing. But I look back now and I think it could have been toned down quite a bit, but to each their own. Anyway, so as you can see, I got some graphite breaking off here, so I'm going to want to brush that off here real quick. But first, let's just get the shadow part of this wrinkle. And I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this. You can spend more time, erase, add, erase. Excuse me. I need some water. I'm talking so much. Okay. Let's get the shading going on here. Get that back in the camera here. Okay, and then here. There's one right here. All right. So what I've done here is I've created the illusion. It looks like I missed one down here. I've created the illusion that these are indentations in the person's skin. Now, these are very pronounced, as you can see, but because I've darkened the tonal value of the top of the wrinkle, okay, and I got the highlight which was the original eraser line, it looks like these are grooves in the person's skin. Now again, the skin itself is kind of blotchy. I'm not real thrilled with the blotchiness of the skin. I can work this, spend a lot of time to work it, to get everything just perfect. But I want to just demonstrate how it's done, and then, you know, you can always spend all kinds of time perfecting. Let's see, I can take off some of that with my blue tack. Try to get some of the blotchiness off, and then come in here and you can blend it. There's a lot of things you can do until you get it just right. Okay. But that's a wrinkle, and you can see that now it's starting to look like a wrinkle in a person's skin. It doesn't just look like somebody drew a line on somebody's face. Now again, this is a very blotchy skin here, and I would just be perfecting this skin before I drew my wrinkles, and that's what you want to do too, but I was in a hurry. So it's pretty blotchy looking. This person needs to go to the ER and get some medication or something, because it looks like their skin is, you know, pigmentation issues. But I think you get the point here, and there's fingerprints. Okay. If you want to make it look more extreme, like the lighting is harsher, you would make brighter whites. You just take your eraser, you go in there and you just make that thing really harsh like that. Then you'd go in there and you can even make darker shadows. See, and there you got yourself a really deep crease in that forehead. If you find that you've got a little bit overboard with your shadows, blend it out or erase it and do it again. Don't blend your whites out because then that'll mess up the illusion. You got to catch, you want it to show that it's catching the light. You know, I might come in here, for example, if I was really caring what this example looked like, I'd come in here, maybe clean up my highlight right here. You can see, and then that way it looks like, hey, I got me a pretty deep crease right here, right above the nose bridge or whatever the case may be. Now, the other thing, and of course, you're not going to have a bunch of pores on a person's forehead with all these wrinkles, you know, for it to be realistic. But the thing with pores and wrinkles are the same thing. Okay, so for drawing pores, I'm going to need some skin for that. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to use a 4B pencil in this example here. And I'm just going to lay down some skin. Okay, we got a little patch of skin here, and it's not perfect, but I think it will get the point across. Now, what I can do is I can use that Tombow Zero, and I can start putting the highlights in for the pores. Remember, the pores are just like the wrinkles in that part of they're all indentations in the skin. And part of it, the lower part, is going to catch the light if the light's coming from more of above. And the top part of the pore is going to have a little more of a shadow. What you do have to do is strike a balance that you don't make your pores look like blackheads. And that's the tricky part. But if you're just real light on your finger, you can just give it that hint to fool the eye that it's actually a tiny little pore, a little hole in the skin, rather than a blackhead, which would not be good for, you know, people who don't necessarily have all those blackheads. Now, one thing I like to use is Frisket paper. It's Frisket film, not paper. It's a film, and it's tacky on one side. And I like to use this to take graphite off the paper for fine details and stuff. And I could use the Tombow, but I find that this is actually much more precise. So what I'll do is I'll use my little pencil here, and I'll just lay the Frisket onto the graphite gently so it doesn't take all the graphite off. And I'm just going to draw a few little pores. A little circular. And you know, if you have a reference photo to work off of, it's better because you can see what the pattern is. A lot of times, you know, pores, they go in patterns. They might actually not just be a bunch of polka dots, you know, on a person's skin, but actually have a flow to it. Now, as you can see, by pulling that off, let me zoom in a little bit here for you, and you can see what that has produced. Now that we lost focus here, let's see if we can get it back. Okay, I'm not sure I can get that close, so I'm going to have to go away a little bit. See, there we go. Okay, that might be as close as I'm going to be able to get without this thing going out of whack. All right, so here's where I've actually have pores on the skin. It was very easy using this Frisket paper, but you can use it with any kind of eraser. You can even use blue tack, which is what you can hang posters and stuff on the wall with. It's a sticky putty kind of thing, and you can certainly make it go to a point like this, and then draw your little pores like that. See, that works too. I think the Frisket does a better job, and it's quicker, but you certainly can do this with blue tack too. Just be careful, because you don't want to make your pores too big. Now I have this blown up here, so basically it looks a little exaggerated. Now, once you've done that, you need to, the light's coming from above, remember, so the white here represents the reflection of the light. We need to tone down the top part, so I'm going to just very carefully, this takes patience. Don't use too dark of a pencil. You just want to give it the impression that it's an indentation, and this means taking your time. And again, don't make everything look like a blackhead, because then that wouldn't look too good. Just make it look like it's a little tiny pore in the skin, and just give it a little bit of, like a little half moon, or right above the white. You might have to erase a few times, blend a couple times, redraw a couple times. But if you're patient, take your time, you will simulate skin pores. With dark skin like I just did here, it's not really dark skin, but it's as dark as tone that I just used. You don't want to have a whole lot of white showing either, so you might have to play that down a little bit. Just take a lighter pencil and blotch some of that white out. But I hope you can see this, how it's just bringing the skin texture out and making it look like this person has a lot of pores. Skin pores. Makes very realistic. Okay, now I hope you can see that. Okay, that's skin pore. And if you find that it's too white, just, get a lighter pencil and take some of that white off, but don't do it on all of them, because then you're really going to remove the realism here. But you can just take some of the glare off if you want. As you can see, I can just come in here and lightly shade. And another thing, if you shade just underneath the white, you make the pore pop. Not like a zit, but you make it pop like it really looks like a hole in the skin there. See, so you just kind of practice with that. It's really not that hard to do. Okay. Well, there you go. And there's pores on the skin right there. And that's how you would do pores. Very simple. It's just like doing wrinkles. So I hope you've learned something from this video. One last thing too, in case you're wondering, yes, you can use the Frisket paper also to do wrinkles. Just lay it over. I do whiskers and everything with this. Oops, I just broke my lid. I use a toothpick actually most of the time, but they don't have one at the moment here. See, you can just do that and then go over it with, remember how I showed you, just right above it. Looks Looks like I lost my lead there. Okay, I think I'm out of lead. Yep, I'm out of lead. Anyway, okay. But you got the gist of it. You can do wrinkles too with the Frisket film. Well, thanks again for watching, and if you haven't done so already, you know, subscribe. There's a button right there, and give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and encourage me to do a whole bunch more of these drawing videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.